Week 19. Let's go through the homework sheet and let's talk about how to practice every day at the piano. When I do my homework sheet, I first make sure that everything I need is at the piano. So I have my book 1, I have my book 2, and I have my purple minor cards. Also nearby, I have my computer or a CD player because part of my learning is listening. So I want to make sure that I've been listening to the listening CD every day. And I'm going to put that on in the morning, or as I have breakfast, or as I'm going to school, or as I'm coming home. You want to get to know all of the pieces on the listening CD as much as possible. I go to my assignment sheet and I see right away that the first thing to do at the piano is to warm up in E minor, and I'm using the special warm up for the left hand. So I am going to do that for you now. So I have put my hand so that my pinky of my left hand is on E. And just for fun, I'm going to play all the E's on my piano, bouncing from E to E. Not being gentle. I don't want to hurt my pinky. But I'm ready to do my warm-up. All right, so we are going to use the E minor warm-up. And we call this note La. I sing when I play. So I'm going to play the warm-up and sing, and then you play and sing. Here we go. La, ti, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la. This time I'll do it again. You sing and play with me. Please don't forget to sing. Ready, sing and play. La, ti, do, re, mi, re, do, ti, la. I hope that you use rounded fingers and not flat fingers. If I try to play the piano with flat fingers, it's much harder to play. I like to use curved fingers, and if you notice, suddenly you can't see my nails. I like to tell my students that to play so that you cannot see your nails. There's my rounded hand position. Now I'm going to do the special warm-up for Willem. We need the fa over here. So watch how I use my hand. La, ti, do, re, mi. And to reach fa, I'm going to take finger 2 and cross it over, but I take the whole hand with me, as if I'm waving. So I don't want to do this, because that hurts my hand. I take the whole hand. I know where to put it back. Now, once I'm done with that, I go back to the thumb and put the hand back. Here's the special warm-up. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. I do that every single time I go to the piano because I want to be warmed up there. Now I'm going over to my recording, and I'm going to my practice CD2, and I'm looking for Willem because I'm going to practice with my recording.
Willem, in E minor position.
It's so important to hear that because I want to know what it's going to sound like when I'm playing it. La, ti, do, re, mi. 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 So I practiced the first pattern, and if you noticed, it was part of the warm-up. I went through all 4 steps. She sang, I sang. She sang and played, I sang and played. Make sure you do that every day. Fa, fa, mi, fa, fa, mi, fa, fa, mi. I cross over. Fa, fa, mi. Did you see how I used the crossover? And I practiced that as I was doing the pattern. La, ti, do, re, mi. 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 Fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. Fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. You see how I practiced over the keys? So I start with the crossover. Now remember, you can always slow down the CD or the recording by pausing it and working on these patterns. So we're really working hard on getting the left hand to play. I have to turn that into Willem. Let's listen one more time. That's kind of fast. So we know the first pattern is Willem, he had 7 sons, and that uses the opening pattern. You see how I repeated that me 3 times because we needed it for 7 sons and then 7 sons, 7 sons. So there's that pattern that we learned, and I moved it into the piece. And then what comes next? Willem, he had 7 sons, and this is what he did. All right, that feels good. Now, if you want to add the chords, that'd be great. Here's a right hand. La, do, mi, 1 chord. Try that with me. La, do, mi, 1 chord. Try it again. La, do, mi, 1 chord. I am now going to do the 4 chord. We didn't do it in class, but I thought you tried it at home. La. Did you see what I'm moving my hand over? Re, fa, 4 chord. Now if that's too hard, you can just do this as a 1 chord and move the pinky over for the 4 chord. Willem, he had 7 sons, 7 sons, 7 sons. Willem, he had 7 sons, and this is what he did. I sang the piece and I added chords. This is the 1 chord. This is the 4 chord. This is the 1 chord. This is the 5/7 chord. This is optional, but I'd love for you to try out these chords this week. All right, so I've done my Willem, and I do that every day, and soon I'll be able to just do it right with the recording. And now it says to include a favorite piece every day. Choose from book 1, ear and reading pieces. Okay, here I go. So I go over to my book 1, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the front of the book because in the front there's a whole list of pieces, and you may not have gotten to them all. So stars shining, listen for bells, mouse, mousey. So I'm going to pick one of those to review. I could take my song cards and I could mix them all up and throw them down, or I can just pick. I'm going to pick Ode to Joy. It says in D position. If you haven't learned this piece yet, here's a great chance to learn it. You can go to your practice CD1 and do the patterns and learn this piece. I bet you're going to find it easier now than when you learned it the first time. If you've learned it, then you can go and you could fill in, you could do it in C position. You write a C there. mi position. And then at the bottom it says 2 hands. Maybe I'm going to add chords. And again, you can use this 1 chord. I'd add a 5/7 chord here. I would say if this is a new piece for you, or if you didn't get it the first time, this is a great chance to do that. By the way, you can use this piece and play it every day this week so that when you come back to class, you would have Willem and Ode to Joy. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And then the next week, you can pick another piece to learn that you haven't found yet that you've learned. If you've already learned Ode to Joy, you can add chords, you can change keys, and you can, of course, go to a different piece. All right, so I did my favorite piece. And now I'm going to go, and it says next. And by the way, I do this every day. I'm going to do the purple cards, tracks 4 and 8. So I have my purple cards in front of me. I go to my practice CD, which you can do all by yourself, and I look for, here we go, 4.
Minor melody cards, purple set, game 1.
This is just as important as practice.
Take out 4 purple minor melody cards. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Shuffle them.
Uh-oh.
Echo this pattern.
Bum, 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 bum.
Which pattern did you hear? If you chose card number 1, you are correct.
Yay.
Listen again and point to the pattern.
Don't forget to do this. La, do, la, la, do, la.
Let's play again.
You're going to
Echo
play
this
again.
pattern.
I'm moving on.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, so play the entire game, even if you've done it a few times.
Which pattern did you hear?
I'm going to the next one.
Minor melody cards, purple set, game 2. Take out 4 purple minor melody cards. Number 1,
Uh-oh.
number 2, number
Same
3,
three.
and number 4. Shuffle them. Echo this pattern.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. Sounds like the other one, but of course he plays
Which pattern
more
did
games.
you hear?
1.
If you chose card number 1, you were correct. Listen again and point to the pattern.
La, do, la.
La, do, la.
Echo this longer pattern.
A different game.
Bum, 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 bum.
We already know the first part.
La, do, la.
What comes next?
Mi, re, do, ti, la.
If you chose card number 3, you were correct. Listen again and point to the patterns.
La, do, la. Mi, re, do, ti, la.
La, do, la, mi, re, do, ti, la. So I'm always echoing whatever he does.
Let's play again.
He'll keep going,
Shuffle your
and
cards.
of course you will too. Finally, and this is not every day, but you want to make sure that you've done page 13 by class. And of course, once you're done with that, you don't have to do it again, right? Unless you like doing it, you can make copies. So here it is. Take out your purple cards 1, 2, 3, 4, which we've been listening. Choose 3 for a composition. Make sure it ends on la. So I can't use this one, so I might as well start it. There we go. La, ti, do, re, do, ti, la, do, la. And then I'm going to write my answer here. Make sure those dots look exactly like they do on these cards. All right. That's it. The practicing shouldn't take longer than 10 or 15 minutes at the most. And I hope that you have fun learning Willem and a piece from book 1 that you haven't gotten to yet.